Governor Gavin Newsom is promoting his new book that's being released next week. The governor went out of state this weekend, skipping the Democratic Party convention. Joining us now are two political experts, Democratic strategist Stephen Maviglio and Republican strategist Tim Rosales. Thank you both for making time.
Thank you.
So some of the governor's book tour stops include states like Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. Steve, I want to start with you. I mean, why do this now when he has like 10 months left to be governor?
Well, you know, I'm from New Hampshire, and there's a great little bookstore in Portsmouth, but you don't go to sell books when you go to New Hampshire. You go to campaign for president. And there's no secret. That's what he's doing. His stops include some of the most Democratic states and places where Democrats need to show up. Everyone is bookmarked and bookended with a fundraiser for a local candidate. So this is about getting his name out there. Not so much about selling books.
Tim, the governor's book is called Young Man in a Hurry. It talks a lot about his experience, especially in San Francisco politics.
Yeah.
Do you think people in Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina really are interested in that?
He's not so young man in a hurry to be president is really what he is right now. And I don't know that, you know, those Democratic voters, I think, are in those states are probably looking for someone that can be that kind of aspirational choice. And he certainly has made a real effort to distance himself and be kind of the anti-Trump Democratic candidate on the national stage. Certainly there will be others that will do that, but right now he is occupying that lane, and I think that's what Democratic voters, at least those who are kind of your most ardent and strident Democrats, really want, and so he's feeding right into it.
Are Republicans, though, I mean, is this fodder for them in other states or nationally?
Well, certainly. I mean, I think that the fact is you can fundraise against, Gavin Newsom or whatever Democrat, whether it's Kamala Harris or any others. You don't have, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi to kick around anymore. So Republicans have to find another kind of fundraising, target to target against. And I think that, Gavin Newsom fits that bill.
Steve, circling back to the governor having about 10 months left on his governorship. I mean, he just got back from Munich. He was in Davos a few weeks earlier. Now he's leaving the state again. I mean, do Democratic voters in California, is this what they signed up for?
Well, you have to look at the latest poll from Emerson, where he's actually underwater, which means more people disapprove than approve of the job he's doing. And we've seen that in other polls. People think all these trips outside of the state aren't helping him. Plus, you have a whole field of Democratic candidates saying what's wrong with the state, which is basically what's done under his watch. So, I mean, he's anxious to get that passport stamp whenever he can.
I want to switch gears to the billionaires tax with Bernie Sanders coming into California. I mean, Steve, is this a problem for the Democratic Party considering the split?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it divides the populist socialist wing with the more moderate wing. And you can even see it in the race for governor. None of the Democrats have embraced it. Even the billionaire running against billionaire, Tom Steyer, gave a very mishmash answer about it. So it's a headache, and it gives the Republicans open season on Democrats.
Tim, is that the case?
I think it's true. Republicans have their own problems, though, with tariffs, right? And we just had Supreme Court ruling, that came out about that. And so where you've got some Republicans that are on one side on tariffs and others that are on, the other side on tariffs. So I think both parties have some issues that kind of divide them. And certainly, where Democrats or Republicans can kind of take shots, people are just asking kind of the basic question, okay, I would just want things to be cheaper and to be able to afford stuff. That's it. Tell me how to do that. And so that's where the voters really are.
All right. We appreciate you both for your time.
Thank you.